Turning to the US now, and Stewart Rhodes, the leader of the group of militia members called the Oath Keepers, has been convicted of seditious conspiracy. It's in connection with the January the 6th storming of the US Capitol in Washington. Rhodes was accused of masterminding the Oath Keepers' participation on the day, and the verdict seen as a win for the US Justice Department, which sought to prove that the attack amounted to a rebellion against the government. OK, let's go live to New York with CBS News correspondent Naomi Ruckim. Naomi, good to see you. What led to this verdict?
Well, David, the verdict came after nearly 2 months of testimony and 3 days of jury deliberations. A Washington, D.C. jury found Stewart Rhodes and co-defendant Kelly Meggs guilty of plotting to block the peaceful transfer of power back on January 6, 2021. Rhodes' attorney told reporters he is disappointed with the guilty verdict and that his client is innocent of the charge. During the trial, prosecutors showed dozens of encrypted messages and surveillance video accusing the group of staging that armed rebellion to quash the results of President Biden's election victory. 3 other defendants were found not guilty on the seditious conspiracy charge, but were convicted of other federal counts, including obstructing an official proceeding. Rhodes and Meggs each faced up to 20 years in prison for seditious conspiracy. A sentencing date, David, has not yet been set.
No, I mean, this whole seditious conspiracy charge, I understand it goes right back to the Civil War. It's not something we hear of often, is it?
It's very rare. In fact, the charge is so rare that Rhodes and Meggs are the first people in nearly 3 decades to be found guilty of seditious conspiracy. It's, as you mentioned, a rarely used Civil War era charge that can be difficult to prove. The last time the Justice Department had secured such a conviction at trial was the 1995 prosecutor of Islamic militants who plotted to bomb New York City landmarks. But the charge has certainly reemerged in this case. Jury selection for a second group of Oath Keepers facing seditious conspiracy charges is scheduled to begin next week. Several members of the Proud Boys are also scheduled to go on trial for the same charge. That's coming up in December. David?
Right, but Naomi, yeah, more trials to come. But Stewart Rhodes is a big fish, clearly. I just wonder what the significance of this verdict is to the Justice Department's general investigation into that insurrection.
Well, that larger investigation is still very much ongoing, and though the verdicts were mixed in this case, the result is still considered a major victory for the Justice Department and could help with that broader investigation. The verdict could embolden investigators and clear the way for them to dig even deeper into those who were at the Capitol that day. U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland recently named a new prosecutor to the case, along with a separate investigation into the classified documents that were removed from former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. After the verdict, Garland said the Justice Department is committed to holding accountable those criminally responsible for the assault on our democracy on January 6th. 2021, David. So much more to come in the larger case. And then, as you heard, there are some smaller charges along the way that the Justice Department is working on. So this is really just one step.
Yeah, we'll keep across them. Naomi Ruckim, thank you very much indeed for the latest there.